94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
26 to 9, our conversation continues with the MP for Tongaren Constituency, Secretary General Ford Kenya, John Chikati, mwakilishi wa Yesu bungeni. We're talking about the impeachment, the ins and outs of what was happening in Parliament last week as we were watching it, and he's confirming to us that many members of Parliament were voting for various reasons, not even among the 11 that were presented by Mwenge Mutuse in the impeachment motion. There were others that were for different other reasons. But all those reasons, were they reasons that you feel reach that threshold, the constitutional threshold to impeach a deputy president, or are they just political reasons of feeling that this person, damu yangu na yake simekatana?
A number of those reasons advanced by Mwenge Mutuse were within the constitutional framework. And the legal department of Parliament had really looked at them critically. Quite a number of reasons were political. And personally, I took some political decisions, and one of the areas that we look at is the stability of our country. The statements that come from one person may allude to the thinking of that person. So personally, I thought that we may not be having a good person at that top leadership. And so those are, to me, I took a decision because of my interaction with the deputy president, as I had talked about. His statements, which are not bringing cohesion within the country, his statements, which are exclusive, which bring disunity, and so that was the decision I took. Yes.
When we had gone on the break, you mentioned an incident that helped firm the position that you took.
Yes.
On a trip that you were with the deputy president.
Yes.
On a military chopper going to Katanga.
Yes. I remember in February 2023, we were going to Katanga. And both the president and the deputy president. And I was privileged to be invited to join the team that was going to Katanga for a church service. And I sat with the deputy president in a military chopper next to him. And I told him, since we were classmates in 1985 in the University of Nairobi, can I be able to be the chairperson of the alumni of members of parliament who joined, because we are quite a number. Yes, we are quite a number in government. Lusaka was there. Martin Olo, who was here, is my classmate. Ekwe Thuro, Kariako Topiko, Anna Amadi. We are quite many. And so I told him, can I have Biana coordinate for you? He said, "Diye mepitwa na wakati." So, and then he put the earphones or whatever, and then we went to Katanga. And from Katanga again, we didn't talk. Imagine, and we are classmates.
Did you go ahead to coordinate?
I could not coordinate something that someone does not want.
Were you doing it for him or were you doing it for the class?
I thought that we could be able to coordinate with him being a patron, so that we could come together to look at how we can be able to help this nation. Okay, but then he
you are serious people, all of you. Anyone could be their patron.
He poured cold water.
You're honestly looking at it,
yes,
as this is an issue. All of us, this cohort of people who went through university around this year,
yes,
we can come together. We are looking at ourselves in the positions we hold in society. We can either give back, we can contribute, we can come together as a club.
Yes.
It doesn't need Rigathi Gachagua.
Yeah, but
you could have made Ekwe Thuro the patron.
But Rigiji is not just a Rigiji.
Or John Chikati.
Yeah, he's not just Rigiji in a name.
Or leave the position of patron open.
He's a deputy president. So when he says, "Iyo kitu imepitwa na wakati," and he's senior, he's sending a signal that you are doing a wrong thing. So again, I thought that so when this issue of impeachment came, I thought that probably from the word go, we had a wrong person. Yes.
You, as the Secretary General of Ford Kenya, you're
Yes.
privy to many things that Ford Kenya, does. You must be privy to the coalition agreement between Ford Kenya and candidate William Ruto.
Yes, not in detail because it was signed by my predecessor, Chris Wamalwa. Yes, and so when I came in, it had already been signed.
But you've seen it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So is what the Deputy President told the country true?
What did he say?
He said that among the agreements with Ford Kenya was you contribute to campaigning for the coalition. And should the coalition win, then 30% of government positions would be allocated to Ford Kenya.
Yes, that is what the agreement says.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you gotten your share?
I'm not in that arrangement of shareholding. It's an ideological thinking. It's a political thinking that, once we get positions, these are the ones you will get 30%. We've not gotten, as a party, we've not gotten all the positions up to that percent. Because we know that Kenya is not just for Ford Kenya. It's for all Kenyans. So we represent we represent a position where there should be fair distribution of resources across the country.
So as the Secretary General of the party, are you pushing for the best of your party by saying this? We have contributed to Kenya Kwanza administration forming government. We have an agreement, a pre-election agreement, that should we get, this is what we shall get in return.
Yes, we've been pushing for
your
our
30%.
Yes, we've been pushing for what was in the agreement for the 30%, but we put in mind that the country is facing a critical resource shortage. Okay, the country is facing challenges in terms of financial expenditures and revenue. And so as we push, we are also careful not to destroy this country. Yes.
So what have you gotten so far? 25%, 26, 5?
Probably. I have not been able to look at it mathematically, but we have quite a number of people recommended by Ford Kenya who have been appointed to key positions. Yeah.
Where are they from mostly? Which part of Kenya?
They are from all over the country.
For example?
Yeah, so we have people from Kakamega. We have one person who is the chair of the Revenue Authority. We have the ambassador of Senegal. That one is from Bungoma. We have we've quite a number of people. If I knew you'll ask me, I'll have prepared a very long list for you to go through and appreciate.
Is there anyone from northeastern Kenya?
Yes, we have Madam Nasra, who is the treasurer of Ford Kenya, who is the chair of the one of the water bodies in northern Kenya.
Yes.
Tarda.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there anyone from the coast?
Yes. We have. I'll look whether we have probably Ruhu, who is the chairman of Ford Kenya, has some position in the government, and then Hadija Mustafa from Kirinyaga, who is the director of elections in Ford Kenya, is holding another key position in one of the parastatals. And then from Nyanza, we have Millicent Abudo, who is a director in Zoya Sugar Company. So it is well distributed.
Among the officials of the party?
Among the officials of the party.
So officials of the party have gotten appointments in government?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody who's not an official of the party who's been appointed to government?
You must be a key stakeholder because you asked whether the party got 15%. So, yes.
So you must be a shareholder in the party to get appointment to the party.
A stakeholder.
Case closed.
A stakeholder. You must be a stakeholder. Yeah. Yes.
My point has been made.
Yeah. No, you see, there's a difference between shareholding and stakeholding.
Same thing.
A stakeholder is a person of interest.
You know, Mheshimiwa,
Yes.
if we were to look at our lived reality as far as our politics is concerned, I don't know why it is that people make this shareholding a bad word. Okay? The truth of the matter is, look at any political party. Any. Why don't we look at ODM?
Yes.
And when they shook hands and are now part of the broader government,
Yes.
the people who are appointed as ministers, they are ODM stalwarts, are they not? Each and every one of them is an ODM stalwart.
Yeah.
In fact, deputy party leaders and people who are chairman of ODM, it's the same thing.
Correct.
You can't have a position and have given time and energy to a political party. When the spoils are being divided, you will expect to be given something because of the position you hold and what it is that you mean to the party. So, let me repeat. The idea of shareholding, in my mind, is not a swear word. It is not a bad thing. It is simply the reality of our politics. Let's look at the backyard of where the president comes from. How many people have been appointed to positions from that backyard?
Right.
There are very many. It is out in the open. And how many people has the deputy governor who can lay claim to having been appointed? This is something that happens in any political dispensation. In fact, in others, it is expected that when a new government comes in, everybody who was in the previous government out. And new people come in.
To me, it was about the usage, the connotation, the negativity in which the word shareholding was used. The term shareholding itself has no problem. But you know, when you use it to exclude, you see, so shareholding as a term has no problem. You can use it even positively, encourage people, use it to unify the country. But then the deputy president used it negatively. That if you are not within that bracket, don't ask anything.
You know, I get the impression I am getting from what you've just said is that the deputy president seemed to have had a particular talent for offending people. Because everything that is referred to as political and which is not legal or constitutional has to do with an affront, an offense that people felt had been committed. They were disregarded, they were spoken to badly, they were not given due attention, and it seems to have been widespread.
You say we're having two people. We have the president and the deputy, who is the principal assistant of the president. One of the things they should be involved in right now, the country is facing a lot of economic challenges. People require hope. People require to be given some amount of hope and optimism within these challenges. If people are facing challenges and then they come to you and you say, shares zako ziko na Kalonzo, shares zako ziko na Wetangula, then you are not giving those people hope. Okay? If we have a problem and then we come to you and we are saying, look, please help us with this, even when you don't have, leave us with some amount of hope. Okay? And that is how the deputy president failed. Now people are asking, in case anything happens and he becomes a president, how will this country be ruled? So that is the fear. That is the fear. Anything can happen to the current president, although the law says you should not imagine it. But anything can happen.
There's nothing in the law that says we should not imagine it.
Yes.
Nowhere. No.
That one was the time when Jomo Kenyatta was president.
Yes.
The law does not stop us from imagining
Okay, so
the death of a president.
Okay.
Because he will die at some point.
Yes. But this
like
what
you will die, I will die, Eric will die.
In fact, the Constitution imagines it.
and
says
in the event,
one of the ways in which we can have a vacancy in the office of the president
is
the death of the president.
Yes. Now, suppose that happens, and then someone who balkanizes the country comes to be the president, and then you go to him, and then you say, look, I would like to have even water. Then he tells you, wapi share zako?
Endouliza Yesu.
Yesu. Yes.
Kupatie maji.
Nani alikwambia Yesu azaliwe Tongareni? Is It's very interesting. Yes.
Parliament,
Yes.
by MPs going across the constituency and holding those public hearings, MPs were saying that we have to dispense with this matter so that we can get back to matters that really affect Kenyans. So Parliament, the National Assembly, has dispensed with that matter. Now it's your lawyers and Mwenge Mutuse who will go to the Senate and take that matter forward. Is the National Assembly now back to doing the job that really affects Kenyans?
Yes, we finished that issue on Tuesday by around 10 p.m. By Wednesday, we were able to the normal motions of Parliament. Parliament is working as usual. The committees are running as usual. On Friday, I attended the budget committee to review budget issues. And on Tuesday, we go back to our normal business. Yes. Yes.
So you're a member of the budget committee.
Yes.
And this is a very important committee of the National Assembly.
Right.
Because as we look at how the government is spending, you have to be very, very sure that every shilling is going towards, as much as possible, service delivery.
Yeah.
So that Kenyans get the service that they deserve, that they are paying taxes for. Okay? Would you tell the country today that as far as you're concerned, looking at the reports that come to you from the Controller of Budget, looking at the reports that come from the Auditor General, looking at the reports that come to you from the National Treasury, that we are properly utilizing all the shilling that we have?
Yes, the shilling we have at the moment is probably being utilized from the reports that we evaluate. The budget committee is there to receive proposals from the Treasury, from Parliament, and then appropriate those monies to various departments, allocate the money for usage in various departments. What the budget committee does not do, because it is not within its purview, is the evaluation of the usage, which is within another committee within Parliament, the Public Accounts Committee. So ours is to receive the proposals and then allocate. But so far, from what I know, is that usage of public money is not worse. It is within the allowed parameters.
Who receives the reports that come from the National Treasury, the periodic reports?
As we receive proposals
on utilization of budget.
Because we have the Auditor General, we have the Control of Budget, and then the other side we have the Public Accounts Committee in Parliament.
Yes.
Yes.
And we have the National Treasury.
Yes.
Should be coming back to Parliament every so often.
Yes.
With how it's utilizing the monies.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Is that not coming to the Committee on Budget?
We do not really evaluate we do not really evaluate on how the money is being utilized. But then we look at the papers and then we look at the documents and then we evaluate, we assess, and say we gave you this last year, for example. Why are you asking? Why are you asking for more?
Right.
What has this been used?
Right.
We normally ask. Yes.
We are right now in the budget making cycle.
Yes.
For the next financial year.
Yeah.
And if you look back into the last budgets,
yes,
right, into what the National Treasury has come and proposed by February, in terms of the budget policy statement.
Yes.
And by the time they come with the budget in June, and then the supplementary budgets in September.
Correct.
Another supplementary budget around April.
Yes.
There's always a huge variation. What you initially approve for them to spend, but as well as they end up spending, there's a variation. And where the money goes to, right? And this is why many people say that, we end up not getting, bang for our buck. Because money that was earmarked for a certain project, for example, those roads in Bungoma that Speaker Wetangula was talking about, I'm sure they've appeared somewhere in a budget before.
Yes.
Why don't they end up getting implemented?
Sometimes we budget for activities within our country, but then when it comes to implementation, the money is not available. Sometimes we do that. We do that. Probably we budget hoping that some donor somewhere, some financial will support our country's activities, or we budget knowing that revenue will be generated, will be collected, and then dispersed through the national treasury. But that the target revenue is not arrived. And so we have various reasons why we may budget for certain activities, and in the course of implementation, they are not done, they are not executed, and they are not delivered, because the revenue that has been generated is not in consonant with the expenditure that is supposed to be incurred.
Yeah, we always end up spending what we had budgeted for, or you don't raise what you had targeted to raise.
Because when you come to the revenue raising, we do not only rely on the internal revenues raised. We also rely on donor funding, we rely on financing, and we rely on PPPs, private partnership programs. And so all that are captured within the budget framework. So that is one reason why many projects, or quite a number of projects, may be within the budget framework, but they are not implemented because the revenues have not been raised. Two, we may have certain contingencies along the way, certain emergencies and certain situations. For example, in 2020, where we had a very prolonged drought, okay, and then followed recently by a very prolonged situation of floods, okay, which we had not been budgeted for because it's a contingency, or certain amount of disease that can hit the country. So those are some of the things that can consume huge amounts of money, but they were not within the budget, and therefore they forced the government to reallocate the funding to these situations. Yes.
Currently, there are many issues that are facing Kenyans, and I'm sure even the people of Tongaren, some people who appeared in the public participation for the impeachment of the deputy president must have raised it. Issue of healthcare, access to healthcare, with the rollout of SHA, the issue of school, and children not accessing school, bursary and the expenses of schools. You know, all these are the issues. These are the issues that are really hurting Kenyans, that Kenyans care about. Is Parliament aware that these are the issues that Kenyans care about?
We are quite aware because we interact with people on a daily basis. Yes, but what I can tell you, my brother, is that transition from one thing to the other is always takes time and even to adjust. I attended the Form 463 education. You came in for 844, okay? 844 was good because mlipembelezwa na maziwa na moi, mnakunywa kidogo, mkakubali. Hii ingine haijakuja na maziwa, hii CBC. Haijashika. So transition is always something that takes time. It takes time to be appreciated. It takes time to be adopted. I am not an expert in the health sector, but transiting from the universal health care to SHA and SHIF has taken a lot of time, and acceptance is somehow difficult. But it is my prayer and hope that things will be okay so that our people can get the health service. When you look at experts who studied the two models, they say the current model is the best. And as I said, I'm not an expert. And so we hope that this transition can be quickly done so that our people can benefit from healthcare. When you come to the funding model of higher education, from help loan to the current model, we see that it has a lot of challenges, okay? A lot of challenges. And the president has set already a committee to review the snags within that arrangement. So the goodwill is there. We don't do things for the wrong. We always do it for the better of the society. And that is my hope, that both in education and in healthcare, things can improve. Yes.
So far, are you happy with the transition? In just SHA?
I can't say I'm happy, or I can't say I'm not happy, because it has not yet fully succeeded. We still have quite a number of things that need to be realigned. And I think the minister in charge of health, with the stakeholders there, are working hard to ensure that it works.
Okay.
Yes.
Mheshimiwa, thank you very much for joining us today.
Yes.
Come again soon.
Yes.
Yeah. John Chikati is the MP for Tongaren constituency, Secretary General of Ford Kenya. He's been our guest for this hour. And asalimia Yesu sana.
Asante. Yesu normally anasema amina. But thank you so much. Asanteni sana.
You say he's your friend?
Yes, he's a very good friend of mine.
Unongeleshanga Yesu.
Immediately after this, I'll call you, say hi to him.
It's 9 a.m.
Asante sana. Thank you.